You're listening to Optional Opinions, the only podcast made by average dudes for average Joes. So quit listening, Steven.
Well, hello and welcome back. My name is Brandon.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Davis.
And we're going to talk about the movie Batman.
The movie Batman.
The movie The Batman.
Bro.
That's my bad.
Podcast.
I don't really. It's
fact
kind
check
of
your work, bro.
It's kind of a hobby. So I don't do it professionally. But yeah, so what do you guys think? Unspoiler reviews.
I thought it was really good, actually. I didn't really go in with expectations per se. I honestly, I thought it wasn't probably going to be that good, but then I started seeing some of the reviews come out, and I'm like, oh, this actually might be good. And I still tried to go in without expectations, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. I guess I thought a couple things, going in that I was incorrect about, or maybe that, I don't know, that I didn't realize maybe. I thought it was going to be further on in Batman's career, because it's 2 years in, they say, right off the bat, or something like that.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a surprise to me, which I thought was nice. I thought we were going to jump in and he's been Batman for 10 years or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And then another thing, I really enjoyed how much they went about the detective side of Batman. I feel like we haven't really gotten this much of a detective Batman in a movie before. And so I really enjoyed it. That was a lot of fun. But it was way too long.
Amen.
Dude, I had to pee so bad. It was the hour 40 mark, and I started getting the feeling, and I'm like, uh-oh, this is going to be a long hour. And it was the last half hour. I was like, oh my gosh, that shot's incredible, but can we just move on? Because I was like, oh, and also something funny. So I was kind of wondering how much it would use or relate to the Nolan Batman films. And to me, while I was watching it, it was almost more homage to Fast and Furious than it was the Nolan films. And I'll talk about that when we get in spoilers. But there's just a couple straight Fast and Furious moments, and I'm like, what the heck? This didn't seem like it fit. But
That's interesting. Wait, what was your score?
Yeah, what'd you rate it, Kyle?
Probably 8.5. I'd give it 8.5.
Okay.
Or maybe a 9. Well,
oh wow.
I'm trying to think of what have I reviewed highly this year already? Does
this
anyone
year?
remember?
I mean, we've only done.
We talked.
The only podcasts that have come out this year are Spider-Man, Death on the Nile.
All right, I'll give it an 8.5. I'll stick with an 8.5.
Okay. All right. Well, I thought it was okay. I did enjoy the detective side of things. I thought that Robert Pattinson, I thought he did a pretty good job as Batman. That wasn't really a question for me. I thought he was going to do good. I like him as an actor.
Wait, can I add to that real quick?
Yes.
I thought he was a good Batman. I thought he was a horrible Bruce Wayne. But okay, carry on.
No, I want to hear more about that. Why do you think that?
I'll wait till we get spoilers, because I don't want to. Yeah, so you can keep going.
Okay, that's fine. I thought he was an okay Bruce Wayne. I thought that this movie should have ended 5 times before the end. What I mean by that is I'm like, okay, so the movie's about to end, and then another half hour would go by, and I'm like, okay, the movie's about to end. But then I'm like, wait, no, we still have to figure out who the Riddler is. And then it's it just happened so many times. It was just way too freaking long and had too many plot points, or I don't know. It was just too long for my liking. I did not enjoy the cinematography.
Really?
Interesting.
I felt very distracted by it. So maybe this is just a me thing, but I like when they have a shot, I like to look around the screen and just kind of admire it. But so many shots in this were purposefully blurred the edges. and that annoyed the crap out of me. So maybe that's not cinematography, maybe that's more editing. I don't know what that would be categorized under, but it was distracting me nonstop.
Are you sure it was like? I guess I never noticed it. Like, it just want to make sure it wasn't like your theater that had like a, you know.
No, it was like it felt purposeful.
Okay.
But so maybe this is just a me thing. But like, and at first I was like, okay, well maybe they're doing it like when certain people, like when it was the Riddler, like watching people. But like they would do it when like press conferences were happening. And it was random. It didn't felt like it was like trying to like say something about like given scenes. Like, I don't know. It felt weird to me, and maybe it was just my theater, but given that it wasn't consistent, like,
Yeah, that's true.
So that really bothered me. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of the guy they cast for Gordon.
Really?
What?
So I like him as an actor.
Oh.
He just doesn't fit. I didn't feel like the way he portrayed Gordon just isn't comic accurate. Like, as far as I'm aware, maybe I'm wrong about that. Like, I'm not a huge Batman like comic book reader, but like it seemed like there's just something off. I don't know what it was. But yeah, I give it a 7.
Dang.
Interesting.
It's not a movie I'd probably watch again, if I'm being honest.
All right, Davis.
Yeah, I mean, I liked the movie. I'm kind of on board with Kyle. I liked the I don't know, just like the action scenes were really cool, and I did like a lot of the cinematography. I didn't I agree with everybody else. I think it did feel really long. It was like, I think the runtime total was like 2 hours and 50 minutes or something.
Yeah, it's like 3 hours. Whew.
Which, yeah, is pretty long. Yeah, 2 hours 56 minutes. But other than that, I thought it was good. I thought Robert Pattinson was good. I really liked Jeffrey Wright. Yeah. So it looks like this episode is going to be me and Kyle versus Brandon. for those
Classic.
newly listening, every episode is either me and Brandon convincing Kyle that it's a really good movie, or me and Kyle convincing Brandon that it's a really good movie.
David just likes all movies.
Every once in a while, we have an episode like Death on the Nile where I'm convincing you two that it was a good movie. I give Batman an 8.8.
8.8.
You just had to beat me. What the heck?
All right. So this is about the time in the podcast where we go and give a spoiler warning. But first, I have some updates that I would like to share with everyone. So I sent you both an email that says "Don't open yet."
Okay.
And you guys can both now open the link inside that I sent you.
This is exciting.
Ooh.
Oh.
So.
Dang.
So, for those of you who can't see, because this is not a video podcast, which is all of you, we now have a optional opinions store. It is on Redbubble, and you can get stuff like baseball caps, t-shirts, mouse pads, hoodies, stickers, phone cases, socks. Socks is the one I'm the most excited for, if I'm being honest. And yeah, so the link will be in the description. You should definitely check it out. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what store to use, because I didn't want us to like throw our logo out there on stuff that was like really crappy products. And from what I can tell, like they have like for being like a store that like manufactures and like handles all the shipping, they have like a pretty good lineup. That being said, they are a little bit more on the pricey side.
It's worth it.
I don't think these are pretty reasonable for like merch, for
Yeah.
like a lot of merch, especially like it's like hoodies are usually like over $50, and these are only like 40.
Uh-huh.
So it's actually a pretty good price.
Yeah. So everybody buy our merch.
Yeah, Davis's mom, we're talking to you. Yeah, if you guys want to support the channel or the podcast,
This is YouTube. Listen to this guy, dude.
we do have a YouTube portion of the show. Did you know that, Kyle?
I didn't actually.
it's just
Our
random.
episodes get posted to YouTube.
Oh shoot!
Death on the Nile had 6 views on YouTube.
All right, like and subscribe. Like, what the
heck? So yeah, if you guys want to help support us and rep our merch so other people will be aware of us, that'd be great. You would be doing us a big favor and yourself, because now you'd have an awesome t-shirt and or socks.
Yeah, those socks look really cool. And
Yeah,
I kind of want them.
But yeah, and then another update is
Dang.
this podcast is sponsored by Amazon.
Oh shoot!
Okay, we're just working it in.
We're legit now.
we are legit. We have a sponsorship with Amazon. So yeah, if you sign up for like a free Audible account or an Amazon Prime membership, like the free trial, that helps us. I use Audible. I'm actually subscribed to that and Amazon. But I really enjoy the Audible aspect. I get the one free book a month, free, quote unquote, free credit. I use that, and they've been doing a lot of stuff recently. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but they have like almost like free books that come with your subscription now, and it's like usually a lot of like the older classics. And I've been like reading a lot of stuff from them, specifically like in the C.S. Lewis catalog and the Tolkien catalog. And
That's cool.
Yeah, they got a lot of stuff that's going on over there. But yeah, so if you sign up for the free trials, links down below, you will be helping us out and you'll get a free trial. So it's a win-win.
Spoiler time.
Batman dies, or he should have at least 5 times.
Well, duh.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
that's how Batman movie is.
Biggest complaint. He took a bomb to the face.
Yes, I do remember that.
100% fine.
Yeah.
Dude, he's Batman. What do you mean? What's the question, bro?
If you're gonna go that, you need to go like the 60s Batman, where everything is just ridiculous. If you're gonna do something that stupid, like, come on, that was ridiculous. He was literally like the guy that had the bomb on his chest was gone. There's nothing.
It wasn't on his chest. It was on his
his neck.
Yeah,
but like
the argument there is just like where it was focused, but still, if it like literally throws him backwards, then yeah,
there would be shrapnel.
Oh yeah, this guy is he's toast.
That was my number one complaint of this movie. It ruined it for me. Not really, but that really bothered me. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, but Brandon, he got knocked out. Remember, he was knocked out from the bomb that exploded in his face, and then like an hour later, he wakes up at the police station.
Yeah, and the police were they were so nice to not remove his mask until after he woke up. Like they were so kind and considerate to the plot of the movie.
Well, that's because it was Gordon. That's like Gordon stood up for him. Like that's the reason for that. Because I thought the same thing. Like obviously his mask would be removed, but Gordon.
Well, they tried to. They tried to right as he woke up.
Well, but like Gordon probably stopped them up until that point, and then they were finally like, "Okay, I'm not listening anymore. I'm doing it."
He should have stopped 20 guys. I'm sorry. That to me is not really believable. As much as the police force hated him, I don't think that they were going to.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's little things like that just kind of just irked me enough throughout the movie that I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. But I didn't love it, and I'm sure I'll think of more as we talk about this podcast. But yeah, let me just say the CGI done for Alfred was amazing. He did a mocap suit and everything. Andy Serkis, He did a
Wow.
mocap suit for Alfred, right? That's what I heard.
I think so.
For sure.
So how did you guys feel about him as Alfred?
I thought it was. I mean, I thought it was good. I felt like we didn't really get to see him that much.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I enjoyed him for what I saw, but it, like, he wasn't really that integral in the movie.
Yeah. Which I don't. Maybe because there are sequels kind of being set up, but maybe we'll see him more in those. But I liked what we saw of him. But yeah, I did kind of think it would be cool to see more. I wanted to see more of like, Bruce Wayne and Alfred working together and like trying to kind of doing the whole sidekick, like Alfred's the guy in the chair, but I guess if we're only 2 years into Bruce Wayne being Batman, then they maybe haven't quite figured that out yet and everything.
Yeah, I do like how he was like helping solve the puzzles too. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Brandon, to go back, I do want to talk a little bit about, because I agree that when the bomb went off right in his face and everything was fine, it did kind of take me out of it a little bit, because I was like, there were just a couple things that happened where I was like, all right, is this supposed to be vaguely grounded or not? Like, I think the bomb was the biggest one for me, because it'd be so easy for him to like see that it's about to go off and like turn or something, or like at least like put his arms up so you could say, oh, well, he has bulletproof.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
and like
he knows it's gonna go. Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah, but he just doesn't do anything, which, like, I think part of the reason that I liked this movie and I thought it was cool was that it was more of a grounded type of movie. Like, it wasn't, like he's flying, but not with any like jet powered whatever. It's just literally.
I hated the wingman suit, really? Personally. I hated that. I was like,
it was kind of weird.
It's like the least Batman thing. Like, oh, hold on, everyone, I just gotta blow up my suit. Like, come on, like what?
Yeah, but like I don't know. There's just stuff like that where the gadgets he had weren't like, like, yeah, they were pretty techy, but it wasn't like, basically magic. So I thought that was cool, but I don't think they totally stuck with it. I think the biggest one we keep talking about is the bomb. That just doesn't make a ton of sense. And I do think, because they even did it a little later, like towards the end, when he gets shot in the chest with a shotgun. At least he gets shot in the chest. You could say, oh, it's bulletproof, whatever. But he obviously has, like, they never say if he like cracked a rib or anything, but he's obviously in a lot of pain, and then he has to do that adrenaline thing or whatever it was. So like, if you're gonna do that and show that he's still a guy, you should at least have him try to turn around or avoid the bomb. And I guess I could see from a storytelling perspective of like, maybe he feels like he deserves it, or like he's so in shock that he can't do anything. But I think
there was like the whole line where he's like, oh, I'm not afraid of death or whatever, like,
right.
Yeah, but like, have some common sense, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
you're not doing anyone any favors like doing that. Like, it's yeah, no, you're totally right. I will say, like, kind of, unless you want to add anything to that, Kyle.
No, I don't think so. I think we've discussed it.
Going back to Alfred, I thought this was the most underutilized plot for this film. I felt like they had so many things going at once, which is one of the reasons I thought it didn't work as well. I think they definitely should have trimmed out a lot of stuff, especially with the mob. And I think it would have been more interesting if they focused more on their relationship, because Alfred from this film seemed to be like the father figure for Bruce. And then, but we don't really know that until like after the explosion and Alfred's in the hospital. And it's like, we've spent zero time essentially with Alfred, and we're supposed to like care a lot that he's in the hospital. And I feel like the only reason it works is just because it's like everyone knows who Alfred is and like the semi relationship that they have. And I feel like that's kind of weak if the movie's like really like hoping that you just know that they're supposed to have like a really good relationship based off of other forms of media that you've consumed.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I thought like seeing their dynamic would have been a lot more interesting. And then it would have gotten me to care a little bit more.
Yeah,
but
I think they just wanted to help set up future movies or whatever with the Penguin and things like that. It's kind of,
well, you can do that. They went pretty heavy into like the mob bosses like in Gotham City. I feel like I have a fairly good understanding of like all the different characters that they were talking about, and I felt like I was having a little bit difficulty like following all the intricacies that they were like trying to lay out. I don't know about you guys, but I think they just spent way too much time and tried to throw stuff way too much into the mob boss portions.
Yeah, I actually kind of enjoyed that portion of it because I think it gave Catwoman, which Zoe Kravitz did a really good job. Like,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed her as Catwoman. Thought she killed it, and I enjoyed how like there was actually more like oomph behind her story. Like usually, I feel like Catwoman is just like
she's there.
She doesn't even really ever like she adds to it because like she's a cool character, but it's never really like a big story driver,
right?
And I think in this movie with the whole mob stuff and like her girlfriend or whatever and like all that, I thought it was enjoyable. I thought it added a lot to the character, so which I'd rather have that, like more of that over the Alfred stuff, because like we see the Alfred stuff in every Batman movie. So I really enjoyed the different spin they put on Catwoman and giving her actual, in which I guess the big reveal where what's his face was her father, Falcone. Yeah, which obviously if you know the comics, like that's a common knowledge probably to a lot of people, but I didn't know that, so I thought that was a really good like reveal and plot point.
Yeah, I think I agree. I like the backstory that it gave with Catwoman, but I just think there's just too much stuff going on. That's my biggest critique. I just wish they would have focused either more on the mob bosses, more on Alfred, or more on the Riddler, or more just like on all the other stuff, the police stuff that they had going on. Like it was just a lot, even for a 3-hour movie.
Yeah, they definitely did like try and do a lot. But
yeah. I think part of it was because I think now just with the advent of like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe and how massive it is, I feel like, a lot of these big budget movies, these studios feel like they have to be setting up, a universe basically. And like, okay, this is, so that I think that's part of this movie. And I think it was all pretty well done, but it did feel kind of crowded where, we would see Catwoman like start doing that, and then we jump over to whatever the Riddler's doing, and then we jump over to like the Penguin and Falcone and everything. Like I thought it was all cool, but it was a lot to keep track of, and I think they did a pretty decent job of like interweaving it so that it all did make sense why they were jumping around, but it was a lot to jump around too.
Yeah, I agree.
What did you guys think of the Riddler?
I loved his character. I thought Paul Dano killed it. I thought that was like, I feel like his character is not that uncommon to see like in the real world. It was like kind of frightening actually, especially at the end with the people in the stadium, like his followers, like, that like, it just made me so uncomfortable because of like how legitimately real that is. Like that's like not far-fetched at all for that to happen.
Yeah.
And so I thought they did his character so well, and it was straight up like a serial killer that you'd watch a documentary about. Like I thought, yeah. So I really enjoyed it, but even though it like creeped me the heck out because it's like, oh, this could happen.
Yeah, I agree. It was really cool. Plus, it was cool to see like the more, as we've said already, but like just to see the more detective side of Batman and him, because he's supposed to be the world's greatest detective, or a lot of the comments have said stuff like that, and I feel like lately, at least with the DC, like Justice League, Batman versus Superman, he's not really a detective as much as a guy who punches people
and kills a lot of people.
Yes.
Yeah, I will say, like, I wish we would have gotten more of the Riddler. Personally, I thought that was like, it felt like the White Walkers in Game of Thrones to me. Like it was kind of like in the background the entire time and not doing a whole lot until the very end. But then in the very end, like it just like happened so quickly. It was a little. I just wanted more. That was all. I felt like the actor Paul Dano. I've never really heard of him before. What else is he in?
He's been in lots of stuff. I'm pulling up.
I haven't seen any of his stuff.
Have you
There Will Be
seen
Blood, Little Miss Sunshine, 12 Years a Slave,
Yeah.
Love and Mercy. I haven't seen any of those.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of those either.
Well, 12 Years a Slave is phenomenal. There Will Be Blood is really good.
Yeah, I know
both on my
all
list.
All of these are like, basically they're all like Oscar-worthy movies. I think maybe even won some, but yeah, he was in Swiss Army Man. That's right. He was the other guy.
He's in Prisoners. Have you seen Prisoners?
No.
Great movie.
That what do I look like? I have a movie podcast that like, I just watch everything.
Right.
Who do you think I am?
Yeah. I forget.
I think okay. So I wish this was 2 movies. I think that's kind of where I land. I think that they just had so much. It just would have been better as 2 movies and fleshed out.
Dude, or a TV show. I want a TV show. I thought this would have been an amazing TV show. Like an HBO Max, just like big budget. I don't know. I think it could have been so good as a TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of HBO series, they have Robin from Titans in this film. Did you guys notice that? I don't know if you've seen Titan. It's I haven't either. I haven't heard anything about it, so I haven't really
you just
wanted to watch it.
Like you've seen it, and you're like, anyway, it's like no. It was
no,
just funny.
I'm sorry. Anyways, the kid that in the very beginning when like they're wanting him, like that gang is like watching videos of like them like mugging people. You know what the gang I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So like in the beginning, the kid that like Batman doesn't beat up and runs away, that is Robin in Titans. And so like some people are thinking that they're going to try to tie this into the Titans universe or something like that.
Wait, what is Titans? That's like a TV show?
Yeah.
On HBO. Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So they have a actor who has played Robin in this movie, and so like people are kind of like speculating that he might also like take up the mantle of Robin in this universe.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I can't vouch for Titans at all though, so
watch at your own peril.
Right. Well, they must like him if they chose him to be in this movie. So
yeah. Well, he had no lines, so I mean, did they really?
That's true.
he was just scared and ran away.
Yeah.
We should talk about somebody that I didn't even really realize until I saw the credits. Was Colin Farrell as the Penguin.
Yeah, I did not know that either until like someone like I think I like saw something afterwards like Colin Farrell blah blah blah. I was like, wait a second, what?
Yeah, it like crazy. Which I saw he was actually on Hot Ones, and he said that he actually kind of loved doing it because he was saying like something about as an actor, when you're on set, like you're still kind of, it's you basically, like, but when you're wearing that much prosthetic and like that much of a mask, he felt like he could really kind of do whatever he wanted and just really go for it, which I thought turned out really well.
So, okay, Kyle, you might be getting what you want. I was looking at Colin Farrell's IMDb page, and there is an untitled The Batman spinoff TV series announced for 2023 with the Penguin.
Oh, dope!
It's starring it looks like it's starring the Penguin, or maybe
that's confirmed.
Great.
That's right. That's confirmed. Like that's coming. I think it's. Did you say it's on HBO Max?
It doesn't say on IMDb.
It for sure is. Yeah,
I think
it's Warner Bros. So.
That's right. After the Batman came out, they confirmed that he's getting his own series.
Dude, that'll be really good because, yeah, they have a lot to set up. I feel like for him, they left it off perfectly for him to kind of take rise to power. So I'm excited. That'll be really good.
Yeah.
Although it sucks for him. How long is it going to take to put on makeup every day? Like, holy cow!
Yeah,
I literally didn't even recognize him. So that's
yeah. Okay, one more thing. Okay, I don't know. I don't usually frequent big cities, but like with the whole thing with like the water, like being like almost like a dam throughout the city. Does that exist in real life anywhere? Because that seems like the stupidest thing ever. Like,
is it Philly?
Like, you can't even go like across the dam without like any dam without being like.
I don't know. Is it? I feel like checkpoint. Is Baton Rouge kind of like that? I know there are places that are below sea level. But yeah, I don't know. It does. I agree. It does seem kind of stupid. My only guess would be that it's kind of like maybe it's supposed to be like it in the not so distant future with like climate change or something, like water levels have risen and they needed to build a seawall so that the city wasn't underwater or whatever. But
okay,
that's just I guess. I mean, yeah. It was a little. I was a little confused. Like, how? Why would you set a city up like that if that's not the case? And I did have the same question as you. I was like, where is that? Is that an actual thing?
Yeah, I have no clue, but it feels like a very like high terrorist like it just screams like blow me up. I don't know. To me, like for terrorists, like it seems like a very poor city planning on my part.
On their part, need to work on. I think you might need some therapy, bro.
Yeah. Play too many video games, I guess.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. Like it just feels like very like very poor planning as far as like security goes for like on the city.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it, and this is actually. I think it's funny, people talk about like you just see memes and stuff online of people saying that Bruce Wayne, like there's a theory that Bruce Wayne doesn't actually want to help Gotham because he wants to be able to take his anger for his parents' death out on criminals. So like he purposefully keeps Gotham like sucky, like he doesn't, because he's a billionaire, but he doesn't invest in the city and like city programs and whatever. Instead, he just goes out and punches people, which I think when I was watching the movie, because I had kind of gone into that, like I had seen recently some people talking about like, oh, I mean, if Batman really wanted to change stuff, he would like, run for mayor or start like get everybody on welfare or whatever. And I was kind of thinking about it, and as I was watching the movie, and everybody was just so corrupt, and Catwoman was walking around the like downstairs bar, and there were all the like DAs and the dirty cops and everything, and I was like,
PG.
They were like they were all down there, and I was like, okay, so obviously if he knows if he gives his money to the like police, if he gives his money to the city, like they're just going to take it, and it's going to be more of this. Like he's just going to be funding the crime that he doesn't like. I don't know. There are a lot of ways to think about that, but that was just one thing that I thought of, that like obviously he can't give his money. Like maybe if he sets up his own, like Wayne Corp sets up their own like private thing that he has complete control over, and he can control who's getting money and whatever. But I don't think the government of Gotham is going to be able to fix it.
Yeah, probably not.
So keep punching people, Bruce Wayne. do your part.
Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like there's a lot that I haven't talked about. I'm just gonna go through a list of things. My Fast and Furious comment.
Yes.
Yeah. So
we need to hear that. We also need to hear why Brandon doesn't like Jeffrey Wright. But continue.
Yeah. So anyway, like the whole scene where he's chasing the penguin or whatever, and then like everything just lines up perfectly, and there's like a semi ramp for him. I was like, this is the most ridiculous thing for this movie. Like it was so like that just doesn't happen. Like it's not. I don't know, maybe it does in 1 in a million. I don't know, but like it took me so out of it. I was like, that's like the most Fast and Furious thing I've ever seen. Like that's straight from a Fast and Furious movie.
I agree, but it was so cool I didn't care.
Yes, it was cool. And the Batmobile, phenomenal. I loved the Batmobile. And the reveal where it's like, it sounded so cool. So yeah, huge props for the Batmobile. It is one of my favorites. And then another scene is like when him and Catwoman are like splitting ways. That's like literally how Fast and Furious ends. Like when after Paul Walker.
Oh yeah,
that's literally how they end it, and it's like the music's playing, and they're like literally driving together and split off in other directions. I was like, wait, is this Fast and Furious? So that was just really funny to me. It's like it's such a serious movie, but yet I drew more conclusions to Fast and Furious than I did like I don't know, some other.
That is
movies.
funny,
like the Batman trilogy, the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, that's my Fast and Furious comment. There were a couple shots in this movie that were just so extremely cool when he's fighting the guys right outside the elevator and it's dark and it's like all lit by like muzzle flash. That was really cool.
I think that was my favorite shot.
Yeah, and then the scene where he's like carrying the flare and everyone's following him, that was like very, very cool.
Yeah.
Another part that I really enjoyed is how in the beginning he's like, I'm vengeance. And then when he's like beating up that like terrorist guy, he's like, who are you? And he's like, I'm vengeance. And that just gave me chills. That was such a good like line and delivery and moment. That like totally just like you could tell just changed Batman's thoughts on everything. So that was really well done, that moment. Let's see, what else do I want to comment on? I mostly like the score. There was a part where like it felt kind of like Western-y to me, and I didn't really enjoy it. It kind of took me out of it. So definitely not my favorite Batman score.
What was it? I did enjoy the score, like the main theme song for Batman. But somebody was telling me that it sounded like the Empire's the Empire song from like Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, or the Empire.
Yes.
Like, dun. And then like it like changed, like it like deviated, but like the very beginning like sounded like
I do remember that. I remember because I was sitting next to Kenzie at the theater. She looked over and she was like, "It's Star Wars." I was like, "It is."
I don't really have anything to say about that other than just to comment about that.
Yeah, the part that it was when he was walking towards. After the chase and he was walking towards the penguin, there was like a spin on it and it sounded like a Western. I don't know. It like really took me out of it. It was weird. So anyway, and then, oh my gosh, I just thought Bruce Wayne was just the worst in this movie. It's like,
really?
He's this emo guy who like never goes out and sees the public and like his hair and all that. It was like, I don't know. That's just like not how I envision Bruce Wayne should be. I don't think I've ever heard of him being like this shut-in emo guy. And I don't know. I did not enjoy that at all. Also, we got like no Bruce Wayne. There's like 2 minutes of Bruce Wayne in the movie. Like, so I thought that was a miss. I don't know. I feel like it's pretty pivotal for a Batman movie to have Bruce Wayne and see that side of things. So that was a big
I think
letdown for me.
part of it, or one of the theories I heard, I watched this video, I think it was for Vanity Fair, but what's his face? Robert Pattinson, Paul Dano, Zoe Kravitz, and I think Jeffrey Wright. They all just like responded to Reddit fan theories from the Batman, and I think one of the theories was that, like Batman and Bruce Wayne, like basically Bruce Wayne is Batman's alter ego, and that like Batman is the true guy, is like Bruce Wayne without a mask. And
well, I feel like they even touched on that in the movie. I think they alluded to that. I think the Riddler said something about that, is like something about them wearing masks and it's who they really are type thing. So I think they straight up alluded to that.
Yeah, that's movie, right.
So yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool because we've seen the kind of like Playboy Bruce Wayne going out and doing whatever.
But isn't that like Bruce Wayne is like in all the comics?
I think so.
That's like
I don't know.
He is. I don't know.
I watched a Mr. Sunday Movies video about like the different theories, and I think he said that this specific movie was based on like one specific run of comics, which was a lot more it was like a lot more grounded, and I think Bruce Wayne wasn't as like, he was definitely more kind of emo, reclusive. I don't remember like what comic it specifically was, but I think there is some precedent for it. So I don't know. I do agree it was kind of weird that he was just Batman like the whole time.
Yeah, so that was a big letdown for me. I really disliked that portion of it. Let's see. I think last comment I wanted to touch on, I thought the whole thing with like his parents' fund, what was it called? What was the fund's name? I'm blanking on it. Whatever the
fund or
whatever it was, like the restoration or renewal. I think it was renewal.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty ridiculous that like he had never put together the dots that they were using this money illegitimately. Especially considering he's supposed to be in this movie, he's like a legitimately pretty good and smart person. So like that whole thing where he just like had no idea that it was like just totally being misused seems pretty obvious from everyone looking in that like clearly the money isn't going for great things because the city sucks. So yeah, that kind of bothered me a little bit, but I think that was everything. I think I just went through a pretty big list. So
there you go. Well, Brandon, how do you feel about, why didn't you like Gordon?
I mean, I think I said most of what I wanted to say in the beginning. I thought he just did okay. Like, I didn't feel like Detective Gordon. I don't know. He just felt very like monotoned and not very expressive. And like usually like Gordon, and like from what I understand in the comics, is like pretty brash and like really outspoken about certain things. And like he tried to do that. I just don't think that he was that great of an actor for that kind of role. I don't know. It's hard to exactly pinpoint.
Yeah. Is there anybody? Do you have any idea of anybody who you think would have done it better?
Yeah, I think that Andy Serkis.
If we got him in the mocap
suit, look. Yeah, that's who I wanted.
Well, it sounds like your issue isn't with him; it's more the writing of the character.
Maybe.
Right? I mean, that's like not him. That's a lot of the script and stuff of like, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And maybe it's not his fault. It's hard to say. I haven't put that much thought into it. It was kind of just a general feeling that I had after the film, and maybe I should have thought about it a little bit more. But
I don't know. Jeffrey Wright's one of those actors.
I like him. He was
point.
great.
Since I saw him,
What If? No.
Yeah, like since I saw him in Westworld
Same.
and
I'm
Yeah.
like
other
Westworld
stuff,
is really good.
whatever
he
he
does.
does,
Yeah, same.
I'm like, yep, I'm gonna watch that.
So yeah, no, he's a great actor.
Yeah, I have yet to dislike him in anything.
So all right, upvotes, downvotes.
Yeah. So I guess I can go.
I think I know what Kyle's upvote is.
Oh, really? What do you think it
The
is?
car.
Oh, the car was phenomenal. That would be a good upvote. But I was just gonna say the detective side of things. I think it
Okay.
was a nice twist, and maybe not twist because I mean he's literally a detective, but like we haven't really seen that on the big screen too much. So that's probably my upvote. I wanted I was ready for more of it, like well, granted I had a pee, so not actually right then, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then downvote would probably just be. I guess I didn't really like how grounded it was. I think they're gonna have a hard time moving forward with how grounded it was, just because like a lot of the DC villains are just not that grounded. So like once you go through Penguin, Riddler, and Joker, like who do you have left that's like grounded that fits in this kind of movie?
Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
They could
Oh
go a lot
no,
with that.
no, my downvote was totally the Joker in the end. That was my downvote. I was so ticked. I was like,
Oh, I forgot
please
about
tell me we're
that.
not getting more Joker. Like, just give it up. Dude, pick another villain. Batman has so many cool villains. Like, why does it have to be Joker already? Like,
Because
it's
that's the one that everybody recognizes and is like, oh, we should watch that one.
we're gonna get another Joker movie. We've seen like 8 different versions of Joker. Just like, please pick another character. Oh my gosh. So I was literally like rolling my eyes when he's like talking to Joker, and
The laugh was also really cringy too.
oh my gosh,
It did not work.
really hope they don't do Joker next movie. I want it to just be Penguin and maybe someone else, and just like, But I am excited for Arkham Asylum. I hope they dive more into that. I feel like we haven't gotten a lot of that in some of the movies. So
Yeah, at least not the live action stuff.
true.
And so you saying that, you started to say that you felt like it was too grounded. I think that's also because, didn't you say that the Dark Knight trilogy, like, those are your favorite movies, right?
Well, not all. I mean, The Dark Knight is like that
Yeah.
movie specifically. Yeah.
Yeah. It did. I will say, after watching this movie, it made me want to watch those.
Same. But also, like, I was very purposeful on coming in and not like trying to base this off of that. Like,
Yeah.
if I came in with expectations that I wanted it to live up to that, I would not give it an 8.5. So I was very purposeful in that. But I don't know.
I mean, that is like an apples to apples comparison. So isn't that something that it should be like compared to?
I mean, I guess you give one of the greatest directors, a couple of the greatest actors, and like just a phenomenal. I don't know. It's like that's literally like a perfect movie to me. So I don't know. I guess you're right. It is apples to apples, but at the same time, I don't want, just because I enjoyed that movie so much, to like automatically downgrade this.
Well, that's what you're doing with the Joker. I mean, you said that like we've already done it so many times. Let's just give it a rest, and like you're comparing it to Heath Ledger and like the Joaquin
I'm not
Phoenix.
comparing it to them. I'm just tired of the character. I think it's different. Like, I'm sure like maybe he could be a phenomenal Joker. Like, I'm not going in saying he's going to be a bad Joker. I'm saying like we've seen so much of that character.
But you're letting the past like other like mediums of it dictate what you.
I guess
how you feel.
I think it's different though. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think like I didn't expect this movie to be as good as that movie, and I feel like if I would have gone in with that, then obviously I'm going to be disappointed. Partially because like,
and maybe that's why mine is lower than your guys's, because like I'm directly comparing it to like the Dark Knight trilogy and everything else we've seen in the Batman universe. Because I feel like you have like to some point like to accurately gauge whether or not some like a piece of media is good or not.
Yeah, but they just like took such a different approach to it. So because like the whole like detective thing, and it's like, I don't know. I agree in some aspects that you got to compare it, but also it's like, yeah, I don't know how to put it into words properly. So, but yeah,
We're average dudes, so
yeah, exactly. My language is
Okay,
not the
well,
best.
I'm interested to hear this, Kyle. If you compare it to the other Batman films, what do you rate it?
I mean, if the other Batman movies a 10, this is probably, I don't know. Well, not the other Batman movies, just the Dark Knight specifically, because I
Okay.
think this one is better than the Dark Knight Rises. Personally,
That's the first one, right?
no, that's the third one.
That's the
Batman
third one.
Begins
Okay,
is the
sorry.
first one of the trilogy.
Yeah.
I'd
My
probably
bad, my
put
bad,
this
my
about
bad.
Batman Begins for me in comparison to the other trilogy. But yeah, if Dark Knight is a 10, then this is, I don't know, probably like a 7.
Interesting. All right, we gotta finish up and wrap this up. But so my upvotes and downvotes. My upvote is Robert Pattinson. I liked him a lot as Batman. I thought he did a pretty good job. I thought he did a pretty good job as Bruce Wayne. I don't think Bruce Wayne. Um, I don't think that like the emo direction that they went is his fault, and I thought like he handled it really well. So I enjoyed him. And then my downvote, cinematography
Or editing.
or editing, whichever one. The
that is.
combination of the two.
I'm gonna say, I think my upvote is like the action sequences. I thought, well, specifically the fighting. I thought the hand-to-hand combat was really cool, and I thought it was edited and like shot really well. I thought it was cool because it was grounded enough where like the bad guys were getting shots in, and you know, like you could tell maybe this is because this is, you know, only Batman's second year doing this, like he hasn't really completely mastered this yet. But even like towards the beginning of the movie when he's like at the train station beating up the guys, like the gang members, he he wins, but he doesn't do it. Like there are a couple spots where you're like, oh crap, like, you know, you never really think that he's not going to win, but you're kind of like, oh, this is harder. This is going to be harder than I thought that it was going to be for him. And yeah, I just thought that the action was really well done. The stunt, whatever coordination was really cool. I think for my downvote, I would say probably like the the bomb thing, and I'm trying to remember. I feel like there were other spots where Bruce Wayne like very obviously should have died, and it just kind of takes you out of it just kind of like takes you out of it, you know, because I think I really liked the action so much because it was very obviously a dude who was, you know, pretty good at hand to hand combat, beating up other dudes. Like it didn't seem like he wasn't doing anything super crazy that was like, you know, completely unrealistic or anything. Um, Although, I mean, I've never really fought anybody, so I'm sure that there was stuff that doesn't make sense. But it
You
didn't
played
look.
football though.
Yeah, that's true. So
You're
I know what
definitely
I'm talking
qualified
about.
to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, hand to hand combat. um, but yeah, I thought that was really cool. And then my downvote was the times where I think it kind of took away from those when the bomb went off and you're like, oh well, he's indestructible. So what's the point of, you know, like it doesn't feel he feels indestructible. If he's indestructible from a bomb, then what are 20 guys going to do to him? You know, if he's just going to fight him off, like it's fine. There's not really that struggle there, which I think
Yeah.
the struggle was part of the, you know, cool part of the scenes. My extra upvote was that scene in the elevator that Kyle talked about. That was, I think it's one of the coolest like sequences of film. Like for me, that's up there with like at the end of Rogue One when Darth Vader's going down the hallway. Like that kind of just like those scenes in your head that you think about that are just amazing, and you like should probably see them on the biggest screen you can.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, things we're watching. I am still watching The Expanse. I think I'm on season 4 or 5. I think I'm on season 5. Yeah. I really enjoy it. It's good. It's quality. I recommend it.
Brandon, you stole mine. We just
You started watching The
we
Expanse?
just started watching The Expanse. We're
Oh,
on.
you didn't tell me.
We're on. I think we're on episode. Like we're towards the end of the first season,
Okay.
and I've really liked it a lot. Sometimes it's kind of hard to follow, and like you definitely gotta pay attention. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah, for
think
sure.
I think it's really cool so
Yeah.
far.
I mean, it's very. I remember when I first started, it was very refreshing to be like experiencing like a new sci-fi like series, like just something like that hasn't been already like told. Like it takes a very different spin on it. I feel like, and it's just fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I could talk about that a lot more, but
We really could, but we shouldn't.
is there anything you're looking forward to?
I am looking forward to Moon Knight.
Oh yeah.
That comes out this month. And I'm kind of excited for it, but prepared to be disappointed.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what I'm actively watching. Not really. You know what? I just watched the latest season of Drive to Survive on Netflix. Formula One.
Nice.
It's pretty good. I really enjoyed the season. There's like a lot of drama that happens. Well, what people try to make into drama. After the fact of things that occur, and I think they did a good job of not delving too heavily into that. And then, probably what I'm looking forward to is this season of Formula One.
That was your pick last time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, it's fine.
It's starting to. Well, we're recording this on a Saturday, so they just had qualifications, and it was very interesting. There's definitely going to be a switch up in terms of possible top teams, and so it's a very exciting season because the cars have changed a lot since last year. So I think it'll be a really close season between like potentially 3 teams, which I haven't seen before. Granted, I'm a fairly recent fan. So anyway, that was long-winded, but yeah, Formula One, I'm enjoying it.
Cool. I mean, as I already said, we're watching The Expanse. And we've really enjoyed it, and we could talk about it more later. I'm looking forward to Moon Knight. Does seem really cool. I'm looking at the list of new movies coming out, and there are definitely movies that I am going to watch. But there's not a ton. I mean, the new Lightyear movie seems cool. I think the only one on this list, you got Jurassic World, Top Gun, the Fantastic Beasts movie, Morbius. The only one that I'm really interested in is Doctor Strange. That's not till May.
Same.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think Doctor Strange, but also there's a smattering of other stuff that I'll end up watching and probably but not that I'm not super interested in. So there you go.
Sweet. The next episode we're going to be doing is on the Atom Project. So watch that in preparation for the next podcast.
Do your homework.
Yeah.
Do your homework.
Do your homework and buy our merch.
Let's end this podcast by saying our name and what is Batman's new catchphrase, since he will no longer be using "I am vengeance."
My name is Davis, and Batman's new catchphrase is "I am sad."
That's so funny. I just picture Inside Out inside his head, sadness just taking over. That's what I just pictured. So that's really funny.
Yep.
Sadness and rage just trading off.
All right, my name's Kyle, and his new catchphrase at the end of the movie, I'm Batman, and I'm just kind of confused.
My name's Brandon, and Batman's new phrase is "I miss Selena."
Dang, sad.
That's a good one.
I guess
It kind of goes with sad. It's
exactly.
more specific than sad.